Hi, this is Brenda from ADD Moms, and I was struggling today for something to write about, having a little bit of writer's block, and so I asked a question on Facebook, and I got a lot of replies. Thank you to everyone who replied and gave me a suggestion. The one that I decided to go with is how to stop feeling overwhelmed, as though you've got way too much to do and not enough time to do it. And by the way, that noise in the background is my dog chewing on a stick, so sorry about that. Anyway, I can totally relate to feeling as though you've got way too much to do and not enough time to do it. I think it's something that, as people with ADD, we struggle with all the time. Part of it is, we don't have good time management skills. We don't have a good concept of the time passing. We get engrossed in something and days could go by, we'd never know. And the other thing is that we often underestimate how long something is going to take. So it's not unusual for us to put 5 or 6 or 7 to do things into our already busy schedule and think you can get it all done. And oh, it's 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, when in reality it's 20 minutes, half an hour. You're setting yourself up to begin with failure. So here are some ideas of things that you can do to sort of scale back your life and feel as though you're being productive and getting the important things done. And they're in no particular order, just off the top of my head. The first one I would say is to make a dump list. DUMP, dump list. And basically that's just dumping everything out of your head and onto a piece of paper, because we've got too much going on in our heads to begin with. We don't need all that huge giant list of everything else we've got to do floating around there when we can put it down on a piece of paper and not worry about it. It's recorded. I would suggest, if you keep a planner or a calendar or something that you've always got hold of or keep track of, stick it in there, either on a page that's inserted in there or write it down and staple it in or something, because you want to keep referring back to it over and over again. Along with this, the next thing would be what I call the Sunday night plan. And that's basically taking some time. It doesn't have to be Sunday, but that works for me. 15, 20 minutes on Sunday evening, maybe after dinner, and take a look at the week ahead. Take a look at, what's happening. Do you have appointments that you don't usually have? Are you going to have late nights? Are there activities with the kids? What's going on? And then start building your week from there. When are you going to have some time to get some things done on your to-do list? When do you need to plan for a really simple, quick dinner because you're going to be super busy that day? So take some time at the beginning of the week and look at those things. And then for the days that you find you've got time to tackle one or more to-dos, go to your dump list and choose one or more of them and plug them into your schedule as though it's an appointment, because that's the only way you're going to get it done. Treat it like an appointment, like something that has to be done on this day at this time. And I would suggest on your freest, most open days, no more than 2 or 3. If you get done and it's only noon, great, do a couple more. But don't set yourself up for failure by just already scheduling in more than you've got time for. The next thing I would say is get a realistic idea of how long things take. And most of us don't have any idea. You think your commute to work is 15 minutes, it's closer to 30. Start timing yourself. How long do you spend in the shower? How long does it take to make dinner or to clean up the kitchen or do the laundry or whatever it is you have to do? The things that are part of your daily schedule, you need to have a clear idea of how much time they take so that you know how much time you've got left to take care of the other things on your list, the laundry or running errands or whatever it is. So get a good realistic idea of how much time things take before you start adding in extra stuff on top of your schedule. The next thing is, and this kind of all goes together, learn to delegate, learn to say no, and focus on what's important to you. And one of the good ways to do that is to decide what is important to you. Is it important to have a spotless house, or is it more important to spend time with your family? Look at your priorities. If you have to, write out a mission statement or something that says what your values are. And feel free to go into as much detail as possible. And then every time you come up with something that's, well, should I do this? Should I not do it? I don't want to do it. Take a look. Does it fit in with your values and your priorities? And if it doesn't, get rid of it. I have a friend who turned 50 recently, and she decided she was no longer dealing with mean people and negative people, period. Not doing it. Doesn't matter if they're family, doesn't matter if people make her feel obligated to show up or to be there. It's not important to her. Her family's more important. Happy things are more important to her. And I applaud her for that. That's a wonderful, wonderful idea. So, you may not want to go to that extreme, but it's certainly something to look at. If somebody volunteers you to make 400 cupcakes by Sunday and you don't have the time and you're not interested, just say no. So that's a really, really big skill for us to learn because we don't have an idea always of how busy we are. And going along with that, I would say maybe you need to keep some form of calendar or planner with you at all times. Your cell phone is a great way to do that. They've all got calendars on them. And if you could get yourself into the habit of putting everything in your schedule into that calendar, maybe like a Google Calendar or something where you could type it in online, but then it syncs to your phone, you've got a much clearer idea. So when someone says, hey, can you do this? You can pull out your calendar and say, sorry, I don't have the time. And that's a really, really good thing to be able to do. And it's a skill that needs to be learned. So I think that's all I've got to say. I mean, there's so much more about feeling overwhelmed and feeling as though you have too much to do. But really, it comes back again to self-care as well. Take good care of yourself. Don't run yourself ragged. And don't always put others' needs above your own. That's it for this time. Thanks.